Coronavirus has been spreading remorselessly to some of the world's most remote places. Nepal in the Himalayas is experiencing a devastating second wave of infections with thousands of deaths. Gurkha veterans and their families are among those suffering in isolated rural villages far from hospitals or healthcare. Our correspondent Rajini Vaidyanathan has been to the remote region of Gurkha.
The virus has now travelled to every corner of this mountain nation. We journeyed through the rugged foothills of the Himalayas to the Gurkha region, where there's been a steep rise in cases. Here, navigating the terrain is as tough as getting access to medical help.
The views are spectacular, but the road conditions are difficult. We are in a remote part of Nepal now, in the Gurkha district. There aren't hospitals here for hours. Just imagine trying to get emergency healthcare in this kind of situation.
We reach Barpak, known as the village of the brave, home to many Gurkha veterans and their families. This was the epicentre of Nepal's devastating earthquake in 2015. A community rebuilt, now struggling to contain the virus. Locals say dozens have died of COVID in this recent wave. One of the victims, Ram Bahadur Ghale, who served in the Queen's Gurkha Engineers. Left behind his son Hari, already penniless, now fatherless. He says he couldn't afford to take his dad to the nearest hospital, a 3-hour drive or a 2-day walk.
We don't have proper medical facilities in Barpak. We only have a small health clinic, so even if we get a fracture and need an X-ray, we have to travel far.
We couldn't get a car to take him to the hospital. The only option would have been by helicopter. We couldn't afford that.
The Delta variant spread as migrant workers returned to their villages from India. Vaccines aren't reaching as fast. Only 8% of people have had a first dose. Supplies from India were suspended. Some are coming from China. But it's still left more than 1 million elderly Nepalis waiting for their second shot of the AstraZeneca. Gurkha veteran Lakshman Ghale is holding on to his vaccination card and to the hope other nations will help.
We served in the British Army. It would be nice if they could give us vaccines. There are many people who need them in Nepal, not just us.
In a country famed for the most challenging of treks, these journeys are the toughest. A village says goodbye to another COVID victim who couldn't get oxygen in time. Even before the virus came along, they lived a life of isolation. Now, for so many in rural Nepal, it's turned into one of desperation. Rajini Vaidyanathan, BBC News, Gurkha, Nepal.